Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Touch of Class show. My name is Drew Wigan. We have a stunning morning on our hands. Daylight savings was yesterday, and now the sun is setting that much later. I believe sunset is now roughly 7 p.m. at night, which is just fantastic to see as we go into the spring season. Now, we've got a packed show today. Can't believe I'm already on episode number 10. We're not stopping here. We're going to get to 50. We're not stopping there. We're going to get to 100, and we're definitely not stopping there. So much more to come. This is only just the beginning. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, left likes, and commented on my videos. It does not go unnoticed. We have another packed show today. And since there isn't any crazy soccer related topics, we're going to be starting off with tennis. We're going to be recapping everything Indian Wells. Then we're going to move on to some of the FA Cup results from over the weekend. And finally, we're going to finish by looking at a Champions League preview for tomorrow and Wednesday. We've got some thrilling matches coming this week. Let's jump right into it. Indian Wells, what a tournament we are having already. I mean, we've seen amazing matches from the likes of big name players of Carlos Alcaraz, Yannick Sinner, Arina Sabalenka, Amanda Anisimova. These players are showing up to Indian Wells, dominating at what they do best. Starting off, we will look at Carlos Alcaraz as he faced Grigor Dimitrov on Saturday. We're going to be going through the Saturday results first, and then we will get into the results from yesterday. Let me just quickly pull this up. All right, Carlos Alcaraz played against Grigor Dimitrov and ended up winning in 2 sets. Okay, he won 6-2, 6-3. Dude was playing absolutely incredible tennis, as you would expect from Carlos Alcaraz. And lost my train of thought there. Oh, yeah, he had such a good shot at one point that Dimitrov actually went up and shook Carlos's hand at the changeover. You rarely see that in a tennis match, but sometimes you just have to appreciate Carlos's class so much that you give him a handshake mid-game. His shot making was insane. He was turning defensive saving shots into forehand winners down the line. Just truly an incredible player Carlos Alcaraz is. He'll face Rinderknecht today, and he is 5-0 all time against him, so should be an interesting match. I highly doubt that Rinderknecht is going to get his first win versus Carlos Alcaraz. Vamos, Carlitos. And yes, Sabi did get a ring. We will be jumping into that later in the show. Super excited to talk about that. Just a little early congratulations to her and her fiance. Then we have Alex de Minaur, who faced off against Seb Korda, and don't get me wrong, Seb Korda has been playing incredible tennis this season, so this was no cakewalk for Alex de Minaur. He takes him down 4-6, 6-4, 6-4. Took him 3 sets, but that's fair. I mean, Seb Korda is playing absolutely incredible this season, so that is a very good win for Alex. A good win early on in this tournament against an opponent that came in playing some of the best tennis he's ever played in his career. He'll go on to face Cam Norrie today, and they're actually 2-2 all time against each other. So that is going to change for one of them. Next, we have Novak Djokovic facing off against Majerzak. Joker won this one in 3 sets, 4-6, 6-1, 6-2. Now, that first set was a little bit shaky for Djokovic. He seemed like he needed to get that under his belt to really feel comfortable, because he didn't look like he was playing Novak Djokovic tennis. He actually looked like an older man and someone that was, dare I say, washed. But after that first set, he settled right in and immediately broke Majrzak, going on to win 6-1 and then obviously 6-2 in that third set. It was the Novak show after that. He'll face Kovacevic today, and they've actually only faced off one time. That was back in 2023 at the Roland Garros, and Novak Djokovic took that one. So I highly expect him to beat Kovacevic today. Now we had Jack Draper versus Roberto Bautista Agut. Draper won this one in 3 sets as well. 3-6, 6-3, 6-2. And again, like Novak Djokovic, it seems like some of these top players, not named Yannick and Carlos, of course, just need that first set to kind of adjust. We've seen it now with De Minaur, with Djokovic, and now Draper. It's almost like you need that first set to kind of jolt you alive, to put your back against the wall. It's great to see Draper back on court playing at such a high level, as he is defending 1,000 points here at Indian Wells. Having won the title last year, if he doesn't go far in this tournament, then he is likely going to drop far down the rankings. And it's crazy to think that just at the US Open last year, he was ranked number 5 in the world. But hey, that's what injury can do to you. It can really limit you, and let me tell you, if he does drop down, he is going to be a threat in early draws at the majors approaching. He'll face Francisco Cerundolo today, who he actually has failed to secure a win against. Cerundolo is 2-0 lifetime against Draper, which is surprising. So he will look to take down the Argentinian, as Cerundolo did win his Saturday match in 3 sets as well, 6-4, 5-7, 7-5 against the French qualifier, Bonzi. Then we have Daniil Medvedev, who faced off against Chilean Tabilo, who is an interesting player. I would definitely say more of a dirt specialist, a clay specialist, but Medvedev advances in 2 sets, 6-4, 6-2. He will be taking on Baez, another Argentinian, who took down Yuri Lehechka 6-4, 6-1. Just 2 sets for Baez. Impressive stuff from him. And Alex Michelsen, the American qualifier, took down Hugo Humbert, the Frenchman, in 3 sets, 7-5, 6-7, 7-6. A marathon match in a 3-setter. Absolutely incredible stuff from Michelsen. We see him moving on to play Taylor Fritz, who defeated Britishman Jacob Fearley 6-3, 6-7, 6-1. It's funny, you notice there's usually one dominant set played by these top players where they just break the other player basically every service game that they have. You see these 6-1s, and it almost feels like so much energy goes into these tie-break sets from the lesser-known players that even if they win it, they're just using all of their energy. They've expended everything that they have to possibly give. And then the following set, they get absolutely crushed. But that wraps up everything for Saturday, I should say. Now let's move on into some of the results from yesterday. We have FAA facing off against Gabriel Diallo, a full Canadian matchup, something that isn't usually seen in tournaments as there aren't many Canadian players on tour. But Felix Auger-Aliassime, I should say, wins the all-Canadian matchup 6-7, 6-3, 6-3. And might I say, both of these lads, when they're on court, look absolutely humongous. Both are very tall and incredible at serving, and it's just a war of length. It's really quite a sight to see. They get to balls very well. and it was good stuff. FAA will now move on and face Arthur Fields, who is actually playing some very good tennis himself. Fields took down Prismic, or Fuchsovich, I should say. Sorry about that. In a late stunner yesterday, 6-3, 7-5. Next match we have Tiafoe versus Caboli. And this match was a replay of the Merida Open from Mexico just a few short weeks ago, where Caboli took down Tiafoe in 2 sets. Tiafoe was looking for his revenge, and boy, did he get it. Emphatically, Tiafoe takes down Caboli, winning 6-1, 6-2, just 2 sets, and this can only really be described as a beatdown from Francis Tiafoe. He never gave Caboli the light of day in this one. Every chance he had, he was breaking Caboli left and right. Tiafoe with a massive win, which sees him through into the next round, but it doesn't get any easier for him as he takes on Zverev, who he's actually played 9 times in his career and has only been fortunate enough to win 1 singular time. Zverev is 8-1 all time versus Tiafoe, and I have a feeling that trend is going to continue. Zverev is into this next round after defeating a Brandon Nakashima 7-6, 5-7, 6-4. Nakashima actually put up a pretty decent fight. He had Zverev on the ropes at times. That was a very good match if you were not able to watch. Next, we had Lerner Tien versus Ben Shelton. And let me first start by saying Ben Shelton looked like a husk of his true self in this tournament at Indian Wells. In that first match against Riley Opelka, we didn't see a Ben Shelton that we're used to seeing. We didn't see the animated Ben Shelton after every shot, whether he's yelling, "Come on," or "Vamos." It seems as though he was ill. I saw some announcers saying maybe it's food poisoning, but it continued into the second day for him. So I'm going to assume that he's got some sort of illness. They said he was taking antibiotics on the broadcast yesterday, but it's super hard to play an elite level of tennis when you're not feeling your best. Obviously, any sport is hard to play when you're not feeling your best, but he was able to overcome this against Riley Opelka, not able to overcome this feeling versus Lerner Tien. Tien showed up and beat him in 3 sets, 7-6, 4-6, 6-3. And this is an absolutely massive win for Lerner Tien. This is the top 10 win that he needed as he looks to move up the ranks. I believe he is world rank number 25 right now. And the deeper that he goes into this tournament, the more he is just going to skyrocket. Huge win for Lerner Tien. He definitely needed this one to kind of get that feeling that he belongs with the big guys, as he is just a young kid at the moment. He'll face Davidovich Fokina in the next round. These two have actually only faced off 1 time in Lerner's early career, and it was last year in Washington, D.C., and Foki took him down. But I think that this year it's going to be a bit different, if you ask me. Next, we have a match that I did a watch along for last night, and Yannick Sinner dismantled Denis Shapovalov. Wins it 6-3, 6-2, playing some very pretty tennis. There were some shots that Yannick had yesterday that you just have to sit back and applaud, even if you're Shapovalov and you saw him clapping his racket. So just giving credit to Sinner, because if you try to get into a baseline rally with Sinner, it's usually not going to end up well for you. I think right now the only person on tour that can really keep up with him from the baseline is Carlos Alcaraz. And we see it time and time again, these long-winded rallies, and Sinner just grinds you down, smashing forehand, smashing backhand, moving you side to side until eventually you're just gassed and you can't get to the ball. It's not these crazy winners, it's this consistent side-to-side movement that makes Sinner such an incredible player. He really looked like he was back to his old ways in this one, moving around freely. The jumping backhand is always a clear indicator that Sinner is really feeling himself on that court. And we saw that a few times yesterday. There was one rally in particular that I can think of where Shapovalov hit it to Sinner's backhand, and Sinner just sliced it to try to get it over the net. It actually ends up being a pretty decent drop shot. Shapovalov follows up with a drop shot of his own, and Sinner has to sprint cross court to try to get a forehand winner. He does. He reaches the ball, smashes forehand, but Shapovalov slams it right back in his face and then runs and does a jumping backhand to send it down the line and get the winner. It was some incredible tennis. Jannik Sinner moves on and will face João Fonseca, the 19-year-old out of Brazil, who, if you were able to stay up last night and watch, had an absolute thriller against Tommy Paul. That is the type of tennis that we want to see from João Fonseca. He's only 19 years old. He's still very young. He's into the round of 16 here at Indian Wells, and this is the farthest he's been in any 100 or 1,000 Masters tournament or Grand Slam. So he's in uncharted waters. But if he plays the way he did last night, smashing forehand, then he is really going to give Sinner a run for his money. He defeated Tommy Paul in which was a match that can only be labeled fireworks. I believe the final was 6-3, 6-2, 6-2, 6-3. Sorry, mixed them up there. But Fonseca was on one because he'll serve it 130, 140 miles an hour right at you. And even if you can manage to return that fairly, then he is one of the hardest hitting forehands on tour, coming right back at you very quick. Now, I'm not going to say this is a test for Jannik because he's obviously won Grand Slams and beaten Carlos Alcaraz, the number one player in the world right now. But it's going to be interesting, and it's not going to be comfortable. I don't think this is going to be a two-setter hour and 10 minutes like it was against Shapovalov. I think this one could go 3 sets. I do like Sinner to come out with the victory, even despite the form that Fonseca is in. But Fonseca could shock the world. And you really are just waiting for his moment to shock everyone. It's coming. You can feel it. Will it be this Indian Wells? Who knows? But he's kind of giving that feel that Carlos Alcaraz did back when he was 18 in 2022. We'll see what happens. That wraps up everything on the men's side as we go on to a beautiful day of tennis later today. Some incredible matchups. Good morning, Swift. Thank you. Figured it was time to get a trim and decided why not shave everything off. Just one of those times that you go to the barber shop and you're just kind of feeling it. Now, women's singles. Women's singles has been something of an interesting tournament in itself. Sabalenka took down Christian yesterday, 6-4, 6-1, and will face Naomi Osaka in the next round after her win versus Osorio. Sabalenka is playing at such an elite level at the moment, and I wonder if it has something to do with the new ring on her finger. Congratulations to Aryna Sabalenka, as her and her fiance just got engaged. I believe it was the night before Indian Wells. I'm not 100% positive. We got some warmth coming up. No better time to do it. Damn right, brother. Damn right. I'm looking forward to the warmth today, actually. Quick little interjection. I'm going to play some tennis today with one of my buddies that I met online on a tennis app. So super excited to get back on court. And then this Wednesday, we got some footy. I play in a men's adult league. Thinking about doing some content related to those two. Maybe some live action IRL tennis videos, some live action IRL soccer videos of me playing goalkeeper. We'll feel it out. We'll see how it does. You know, maybe I'll post one with just clips of me making some saves and see what people think. But back to tennis and back to Arena Sabalenka. She's actually playing with the ring on her finger. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. It's absolutely massive. I mean, she is playing with a whole ass rock on her hand. It's quite impressive. Yesterday we had Amanda Anisimova just absolutely slaughter Emma Raducanu. That was also on the watch along. She won 6-1, 6-1 in 2 sets. And Amanda Anisimova, shout out to her because the tennis that she is playing at the moment, her backhand, I said it yesterday on the stream, her backhand right now is ranked 3rd in terms of average return speed on both tours. That is correct. She has the 3rd strongest average return speed backhand out of all men and women. I believe Yannick is 1st, Carlos is 2nd, and then it's Amanda Anisimova in 3rd. It's stunning to see what she can do with the backhand. She will then face Victoria Mboko, who is also just playing a different level of tennis. She has had a meteoric rise over this past year, rising from roughly number 330 in the world to now being a top 10 player. So that should be a very thrilling match. Alex Yala advances after Coco Gauff is forced to retire, and their match, she described her pain as fireworks in her arm. So there's clearly something wrong with the nerve there. Hope that she can get back on court soon. No one likes to see injuries, no matter your opinions on the player. Just turn injuries off for everyone. We want to see best on best at every moment possible. Yala will face Noskova in the next round, and expect Yala to have a pretty big crowd as she is from the Philippines. They are playing on the West Coast, so there are going to be a lot of Filipinos who traveled over for this event. Jasmine Paolini takes down Tomjanovic 7-5, 5-7, 6-1, and she will face qualifier Talia Gibson out of Australia, who is going on a little bit of a run herself. She takes down Clara Towson, a top 15 player. And hey, anytime a qualifier beats a top 15 player, your eyebrows raise a little bit. So Talia Gibson, not one to be messed around with right now. Today we have some matches between Pegula and Ostapenko, Elise Mertens and Melissa Bencic, Kostyuk versus Elena Rybakina. That one should be a good watch. Rybakina obviously coming off of a Masters after the Australian Open win and looking to get a Masters 1000 win. Mira Andreeva versus Siniakova. Siniakova obviously known for her doubles play, but is making a decent run in this singles tournament. Kruger versus Alina Svitolina, Karolina Makova versus Ruzic, and Maria Sakkari versus Swiatek, which also is looking to be like a great matchup. That's all for Indian Wells, all for tennis. There is so much tennis this week. I'm just trying to absorb as much of it as possible. Really high-level stuff. Some great matches today, tomorrow, and the rest of the week. We will be back Friday covering who is going into the semifinals and potentially final next weekend. Now, moving on to some footy. We have FA Cup results, and Starting it off early, we have Arsenal defeating Mansfield Town 2-1. This almost got out of hand for Arsenal because, believe it or not, Mansfield Town was playing them off the park a little bit. Mansfield Town is also the first team to create 2xG or more versus Arsenal this season, which I thought was an incredibly interesting stat because what division are Mansfield Town in? Are they in League 1? Let's take a look here. Yep, they are currently 16th in League 1 out of a possible 24 teams. So it doesn't look like they're going to go down, but they had a nice cup run. Happy for the fans. They only lost 2-1 to Arsenal. They created the most XG that Arsenal has faced this season. These Mansfield Town fans have something to hang their head on. So congrats to them and their run, but it is Arsenal who move forward. Next, we have Chelsea, who outlast Wrexham 4-2. And this game was close. This game was very close. Wrexham opened the scoring, believe it or not, but then it was Chelsea who leveled it. Wrexham again take the lead in the 79th minute, and you think maybe, just maybe, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's team can close this one out and continue this storybook journey that they're on. But at the end of the day, squad depth does come into play, and Chelsea's squad depth is obviously far superior, being a Premier League club, having spent a couple billion on that squad. They level it in the 83rd minute. We go to extra time, and then in the 95th minute of extra time, Chelsea score, and then the icing on the cake in the 120th minute, Chelsea score again to really finish off Wrexham to move on to the next round of the FA Cup. City played Newcastle and defeated them 3-1. And City just keep their well-oiled machine rolling. Newcastle have such a tough run of games going forward. We'll get into that in a second, but that is your FA Cup results. Nothing too crazy. I hate when they pause Premier League play for an FA Cup weekend. Yes, obviously Manchester United are not in the FA Cup anymore, but there are other teams who are not in the FA Cup. Why are we taking up a weekend for this? Play them as midweek matches until maybe the quarterfinals or semifinals. It's not that crazy right now. That's my little FA Cup rant for everyone. Now, Champions League is back this week. Tuesday and Wednesday, we have Champions League matches. It feels so good to say. I love the Champions League. Even if Manchester United aren't in the Champions League, it is just so fun to watch. Tuesday, we have Galatasaray hosting Liverpool. And Galatasaray at home are a force to be reckoned with. Liverpool, obviously, not in the greatest of form this year. They are just playing a bit weak. Video out about that. Check that out. It's about how Slot is failing Liverpool and how he is ultimately going to pay the price with a sacking. Galatasaray look to move on to the next round, as well as Liverpool. But in this first leg at home for Galatasaray, I like them to win. Give me 3-1 Galatasaray at home. Next, we have Atalanta versus Bayern. And I just think that Bayern are way too good at the moment. They're leading the Bundesliga. Their goals for versus goals against is just a bit silly, to be honest. Let's pull that up real quick. Bayern Munich match. I want to look at their I'm just going to pull up the Bundesliga standings. Yeah, they are currently first in the Bundesliga. They have 21 wins, 3 draws, and just that one loss. They have 92 goals for and 24 goals against. Just an absolutely unbelievable record. I think that Bayern are going to clear Atalanta. Give me Bayern to win 3-2 in Italy. I couldn't agree more, Swift. Arne Slot is 100% the problem. Ooh, Osimhen hat trick. The Ocean Man. I love that shout. I think it's fantastic. I think that Osimhen is going to have himself a night. You know, that's a great call, Swift. I think that Galatasaray, led by Osimhen, are going to thrash this Liverpool side at home. Next, we have a match that is going to determine what my opinion is on La Liga for the rest of eternity. Atletico Madrid play host to Tottenham Hotspur, and I swear, if Tottenham win this match, Atletico Madrid are going to get bantered so hard. It's gonna be we're not even gonna be able to see La Liga come back from this one. They're playing at the Wanda Metropolitano. Tottenham are the worst team in the Premier League right now. Everyone's beating up on them. They look like they're going to get relegated. Their relegation odds after last weekend went from 15% to now 37%. West Ham are playing decent football and just sit 1 point below them. It's just all going wrong for Tottenham at the moment. I don't think that La Liga is cooked. I think that they are a decent league, not quite the caliber of the Premier League, but I would hope that Atletico Madrid are able to win this match. That being said, I do like them to win at the Wanda Metropolitano. Give me Atletico Madrid to win 2-0, as they are that staunch defensive team. Then we finish off Tuesday with Newcastle versus Barcelona. And that brutal stretch that I was talking about for Newcastle is here. They faced off against Manchester United and Manchester City. They now play Barcelona on Tuesday tomorrow. Then they face Chelsea in the Premier League. Then Barcelona again next week in the Champions League. And then they have their derby against Sunderland, which is going to be scenes, as that derby is one of the most fierce derbies in all of England. Newcastle don't have the squad to be playing this many games. Their starting 11 is fantastic, but their squad depth just isn't there. I fear Barcelona are going to come into St. James Park up northern England and just absolutely boss it. I don't know why. That's just the feeling that I have. Give me Barcelona to win 3-1 at St. James Park. I think Newcastle will get themselves one, but this Barcelona side, man, they are just too good. I think Lamine Yamal is going to have a moment of brilliance and show these wankers up north what real football looks like. That wraps up everything for Tuesday. Let's now move on to the Wednesday matches. Starting off on Wednesday, we have Leverkusen versus Arsenal. I got to be honest, I really like Leverkusen in this game. Call me crazy, but I think they can nick a win. I think that Arsenal just play this style of football that is just brute force, trying to get corner kicks, trying to bully you in the box, WWE style tactics from Mikel Arteta. And I don't think it's going to fly in the Champions League as much as it does in the Premier League. I think we're going to start to see some of these other European sides kind of dominate Arsenal a little bit on these European nights. With that being said, give me Leverkusen to win 2-1 against Corner FC. Oh, God, that would be so sweet to drink in the tears of Arsenal fans if they could get knocked out by Leverkusen in the Champions League. Stuff that dreams are made of, really, to be honest. Then we have Bodo Glimt versus Sporting. Bodo Glimt hosting Sporting. And, man, this means that Sporting are kind of screwed, to be honest. Because for some reason, Bodo Glimt play like 2009 Barcelona when they're at home. These Norwegians absolutely love playing on their home pitch. And apparently, it's tough for everyone else traveling there. Now, it is spring, so it's warming up a little bit in Norway, but it's still cold as absolute heck up there. Give me the Norwegians to beat Sporting 4-2. Also, a cheeky stat if you haven't been paying attention to the Portuguese league, which not many people are paying attention to the Portuguese league, to be quite frank. But Victor Gyökeres' replacement, I forget his name, the Sporting striker, has 30 goals in 39 matches for them this year. So, maybe it wasn't Victor Gyökeres. Maybe it really just is a Portuguese league thing. Because, to be honest, I don't think he's been worth his weight for Arsenal. He's becoming better. He's getting in better goal-scoring positions. He is looking better for Arsenal. I don't think he's worth that price tag, though, especially at his age. He's, 27? I think that was a bit steep for him to pay, or for him to be worth. Then we have PSG versus Chelsea, and this game is going to be something special. PSG versus Chelsea in the Champions League, two European giants. PSG obviously getting a Champions League last year of their own. Chelsea having multiple Champions League. This game is going to be electric. Is his name actually Luis Suarez? That's hilarious. Is his name Luis Suarez? I gotta pull up Sporting. It's not that I don't believe you. I just gotta see this for myself. That's hilarious. Gyökeres is trash. Don't give him any gas. Any person in the Prem comes back. Nah, I mean, listen, the Portuguese league has had some decent players come in. I mean, my mind immediately goes to Bruno Fernandes. He's an absolutely incredible player, and he came from the Portuguese league. Wow, his name is Luis Suarez. Great call, Swift. Unbelievable shout. But Gyökeres has been playing all right recently. You got to give some credit where credit's due. I'm not saying that he's worth it by any means, but he's been playing all right. Now, back to Chelsea versus PSG. I like PSG to get a result here. I think it's a favorable matchup for them. I think Liam Rosenior's side are just a bit too young and not well drilled enough to really fight in the Champions League as of yet. They have the pedigree as a club, Chelsea, yes, of course, but Liam Rosenior is still just very early days in his Chelsea career, and he's coming from the French league, so maybe he's got something planned for PSG, or maybe PSG have something planned for him. Give me PSG to win 2-1 at home. Yeah, but he didn't go there first. Gyökeres started at Brighton, didn't do anything, went back to Sporting, then came back. Fair point. That is a fair point. If we're really looking at Gyökeres' career, he was playing in the Premier League, was terrible, then went to Coventry City and was lighting it up in, I believe, the Championship for them, which, listen, if you're lighting it up in the Championship and a Premier League club isn't going to sign you, that should kind of be writing on the wall. He then went to Portugal, did amazing. You got to give him some credit for his Champions League record. He's scored a lot of goals in the Champions League for Sporting. But no, that's a fair point. You know, if you fail in England, no matter the level it is, then it's going to be hard for you to come back and really be truly successful. Final match Wednesday, we have Real Madrid facing off against Manchester City. And of course, we see this matchup again. UEFA just absolutely knock one out to this matchup every single year. I think the odds of them playing for the past 5 years like they have are 1 in 300 million I saw online. Just absolutely a crazy statistic, but it just feels like tradition at this point. You know, Manchester City versus Real Madrid, it's electric every time. I think it's going to be a great matchup once again. I do like Madrid to get a win at the Bernabeu, though, to be honest. It depends whether Mbappe is fit. It's looking as though right now he's going to come back to play, which would be kind of miraculous if he's able to. If he's playing, I think that Real Madrid can get a result. If not, I think City make it interesting. Also, can't stand him for dropping a hat trick on us in the Champions League. Yeah, but to be fair, weren't two of those goals penalties? Or am I wrong? I do remember that from last season, Gyökeres dropping that hat trick on Manchester City's head. Just hilarious. Not something you're going to see him do in the Premier League, though. I highly doubt it. But back to Real Madrid. I think that the Bernabeu is just such a tough place to play. It's got that aura, the Champions League aura. I'm going to take Real Madrid to win this one 3-2. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. I love this matchup. It just always provides some last-minute excitement. Bro, we're good. Rodrigo's the only problem for City. Yeah, he's definitely been a problem in the past for City with, late winners in Real Madrid's past against Manchester City. Some ghosts Manchester City fans will be seeing of previous year's Champions League runs. But Vinny has been playing pretty decent as of late. We'll see how he plays against Manchester City. I'm not the biggest Vinicius Jr. fan, but who knows? Maybe he's got something in store for the citizens. That wraps up everything I have for Champions League football. If you want to keep up to date with my thoughts on anything tennis and anything Champions League related, go give me a follow on X at the Touch O Class Show. Touch O Class Show on X. Drop a follow to see everything I have. Live match reactions on Twitter, because it's really just Twitter. No one calls it X. But I hope you have enjoyed the show. Please leave a like and subscribe. Comment who you think is going to win in these Champions League matchups. Do you think Real Madrid is going to win, or do you think City steal points at the Bernabeu? And let me know your thoughts on Indian Wells, who you see going deep into the tournament, especially this matchup between Fonseca and Sinner. Some incredible stuff there. Looking forward for what's to come this week. Some excellent Champions League matchups, some excellent tennis, so much to soak in. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.